Right now, we're learning a Rock County crash that killed a Madison woman involved a driver suspected of his fourth OWI. And President Trump makes a formal address about two mass shootings over the weekend, what he says needs to happen in response.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now on this Monday. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Today is an alert day for severe storms in the forecast this evening. Let's head to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has the details. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Mark, and hello to all of you watching at home. We are going to be watching that potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms later on. In the meantime, though, things are very warm outside. Temperatures are already into the mid and even upper 80s in some spots. Janesville at 86, Kenosha 87. You work your way up towards the Dells at 78. We do sit at 82 right now in Madison. Those winds coming strong out of the south and west. It's ushering in the warm temperatures along with the moisture. It's very humid. Those dew points are into the mid 60s. But we're going to be watching the skies. Clouds already developing, and we will see more of that into the afternoon and evening. It is indeed an alert day. Showers and storms are likely to get going. Those could bring the primary threat of high winds. Now, we see some isolated areas of some showers and storms in spots, but let's show you the severe weather threat map. And here you see that enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5 from about Madison and points towards the north and west. The area, that darker brown, is going to be a greatest threat for severe weather today. Expect those to mainly come in, though, the storms, after 5 and then starting to move out around midnight, but we'll break things down even further coming up in Maine weather.
All right, see you then. Thank you, Chris. Top of the news today, a 59-year-old Madison woman is dead after being hit by a suspected drunk driver. This happened last night on Highway 213 in Magnolia. That's just south of Evansville. Officials with the Rock County Sheriff's Office say Daniel Good of Edgerton was driving southbound on Highway 59, ran a stop sign, and crashed into a Dodge Journey. The 59-year-old woman driving that vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. Her 53-year-old passenger suffered multiple injuries. Good was arrested on charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle, his fourth OWI. In central Wisconsin, a Stevens Point man is facing charges for illegally possessing an assault rifle. Police pulled over a 29-year-old man Saturday night after learning he had made specific threats about shooting officers. Officials say they found an assault rifle, ammunition, and a bulletproof vest in the man's car. President Trump has ordered flags to fly at half-staff to honor the victims of mass shootings in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio over the weekend. That order is in effect through Thursday night at sunset. This morning, in a formal address, the president said all Americans have to work together to end mass shootings. And the president said he was sickened by the racist manifesto the shooter in El Paso used to justify his acts.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. We are a loving nation, and our children are entitled to grow up in a just, peaceful, and loving society.
Democrats say the president's anti-immigration rhetoric helped stoke the racism and division, and that he should be held accountable.
Anyone who is surprised is part of this problem right now, including members of the media who ask, hey, Beto, do you think the president is racist? Well, Jesus Christ, of course he's racist.
The president hinted on Twitter this morning that he may support new background checks, but he did not bring it up during his remarks this morning. Police are working to determine a motive in the Dayton, Ohio shooting where 9 people were killed and at least 27 others were wounded. Investigators identified 24-year-old Connor Betts as the shooter. He was carrying a rifle similar to an AR-15. Police responded in less than a minute. At least 6 officers opened fire, killing him. 6 of the 9 killed were African-American. However, officials say there is not enough evidence to say they were targeted because of their race. And officials in El Paso say the total of those killed in Saturday's shooting massacre at a Walmart is now at 22. An elderly woman died in the hospital overnight, and another patient has died within the past hour. 21-year-old suspected gunman Patrick Cruces allegedly posted a racist, anti-immigrant manifesto online just before the shooting. Investigators are treating the incident as a domestic terrorism case. Chicago police were reporting a string of shootings that led 7 people dead and 59 wounded over the weekend. Police say they responded to 32 shooting-related incidents since Friday evening. Sunday, 17 people were shot in 3 separate incidents in the span of 2 hours. That forced Mount Sinai Hospital to stop accepting new patients for a while on Sunday morning. A first alert traffic update to the Verona Road construction. Starting tonight, crews will close PD McKee Road for road work at the Verona Bridge over PD. DOT officials say this is one of the biggest closures of the summer in terms of Verona Road because Verona and PD is such a heavily trafficked area. No through movements or left turns will be permitted at the Verona Road and County PD intersection during this time. Crews can set girders over the bridge.
For the commuters that use PD in that intersection, it'll be a major. They're going to want to seek alternate routes because there will be detouring. They have to work around the signals, come up and work their way through the neighborhood possibly. So they've got to provide more time and seek alternate routes.
The closures are Monday into Thursday from 7 to 6 a.m., 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. And we have more local news now. Former UW-Madison football player J.J. Watt is getting in on a Packers tradition. The Milwaukee native rode kids' bikes to practice as part of the Dream Drive today. Watt and the rest of the Houston Texans are in Green Bay today and tomorrow for joint practices with the Pack. Green Bay and Houston will play their first preseason game Thursday in Lambeau at 7 o'clock. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
How do you find the perfect melon at the market? It's easy. Plus, we have a trick to make the best fruit salad ever. One of the things we love doing here in the Test Kitchen is answering the questions you post on Facebook and on our website. You know, one that's been popping up over and over again is, can you help me figure out the difference between all the melons there are at the market? You know, this time of year, there's a bunch of them, so let me show you a few. Let's start with one of the most popular ones, the cantaloupe. It's easily recognized by its veiny, rough skin and its bright orange flesh. You can tell it's ripe when the stem end has a little give to it and it smells fragrant. Over here, we have honeydew. It's usually a bit larger than cantaloupe and its skin is pale green and very smooth. But when you cut into it, you'll find the flesh is light green and it's super juicy. This bright yellow melon is known as a canary melon. The flesh is succulent and it tastes similar to a really juicy pear. All this talk of melons reminds me of one of our best fruit salads. What makes it so good, besides all the fresh fruit, is the homemade orange honey ginger syrup that makes each bite burst with flavor. Maybe top it off with a few berries, some fresh mint, and a bit of granola. To get this simple yet very fancy tasty recipe, simply visit our website and look for what we call Country Fruit Stand Salad. Talk about refreshing. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fun and fruity way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. A nice start to the day. Sunshine, temperatures in the mid-80s, but we have severe storms in the forecast for this evening. Chris Reese says high winds and even hail are possible. You'll have your first alert forecast next. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. And call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. Your 401k taking a hit today. The Dow Industrial is down 713 points. The NASDAQ down 261. The S&P 500 down 78. All trade war with China, results of that. Let's check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Bianchi. I hope your numbers are better than that.
No, ours haven't been good all weekend long. I kind of keep an eye on those things when they're trading electronically. And since I got into the office this morning at 2 a.m., we've been down. And with wheat, we've been down double digits at time. That trend continues. Like you said, it's the constant rhetoric on what's going on or not going on with China. The only good news that we got on Friday is that there were some memorandums that were signed at the White House between the United States and the European Union that's going to grant access for some of our our American beef, U.S. beef, into the European Union. Right now, it's not big numbers, but it's a sign of definitely a directional change. It's been tough for our U.S. beef to get into the European Union, and this stretches all the way back to the first detection of mad cow disease and some of that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a directional trend that we hope will continue. Not enough to move the markets, though, I'm afraid, as far as prices are concerned. And like I said, corn, beans, and wheat, we suffered down overnight. Even if we're back to kind of getting a penny here or there, the damage has already been done. As far as dairy is concerned today, some pretty dramatic moves there too. Barrel cheese dropped 1/4 cent to $1.69. 40-pound block cheese today up 4 cents at $1.86. Double A butter up 2 3/4 cents to $2.34 3/4. So that's some of the bigger moves that we've seen as far as dairy over the past 10 days' time. Did want to remind you the Wisconsin State Fair continues tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m. They are going to recognize the Centennial and Sesquicentennial farms from all across the state of Wisconsin. According to the Wisconsin State Fair, they've got 140 farms that are going to be recognized for being in the same family for 100 years, and 28 farms from across the state that will be recognized that they've been in Wisconsin agriculture in the same family for 150 years or more. So this is also going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary of recognizing some of these farms, stretches back to 1948. Actually, I should say that it's their anniversary of recognizing these farms. 9,467 century farms that have been recognized since they started it. 890 sesquicentennial farms that have been recognized. They're going to do that tomorrow morning, Mark, over at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. I'll try to have some stories for you on that sometime either tomorrow or Wednesday.
It truly is a family tradition.
Yeah, and well-deserved recognition in this day and time when you know what's happening with farms as far as the financial stress. To be in the game 100 or 150 years is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. All right, Pam, thank you. Let's check in with weather now. Chris has a first alert weather forecast.
Yeah, I do. And today is an alert day, particularly as we go into the evening and tonight. We're going to be watching some showers and thunderstorms that roll through here. Those do have the potential to bring pretty much all threats of severe weather, but the main one we're going to be looking for are high winds, and I'll talk about that more in just a second. Let's start with high-resolution Doppler right now. We do have a couple areas of some isolated showers going up. Not a lot of lightning. Some of the strongest showers are up towards Stevens Point, but closer towards our viewing area, Marquette County, Westfield getting in on a little bit of a shower. You work your way over towards northern Columbia County. That's where some shower activity will be as well. But we're paying attention towards the north and west. Storms already starting to fire up through the Northwoods and back through the Twin Cities. This is the area where storms will begin to develop and then work their way towards the south and east. As they do so, the environment is more unstable. So already we do have an enhanced risk that is level 3 out of 5 for severe weather, particularly from the Madison area and then points towards the north and west. So I do believe the farther north and west you are, the stronger your thunderstorms may be. As you work towards the south and east, yes, that threat for severe weather will exist as we go through the overnight hours, but we begin to lose more of the instability. So from places like Mazomanie, back through Sauk City, up towards Camp Douglas. That's where I think you'll have stronger thunderstorms today. But then as you work your way towards Johnson Creek and Watertown, while I still think you'll see strong storms, they will be on the lesser severe side. Here's what we're looking at. The quarter-sized hail threat is more confined towards western Wisconsin. The tornado threat is there, but it is very much on the low side. Again, the primary risk is going to be wind, perhaps in excess of 60 miles per hour at times. That is why we do have the enhanced risk out there. But in the meantime, folks, it is very beautiful. We're seeing some clouds start to develop out on the horizon. Temperature-wise, we are at 82. Those winds are out of the south and west at 8 miles per hour. That's helping fuel some of that moisture and instability into the atmosphere. You see that strong southwest wind. Temperatures are well into the 80s, though some spots are still into the upper 70s. La Crosse at 88 degrees right now, but it's also very humid. This is allowing a lot more moisture to come into the atmosphere to also help fuel some of the showers and thunderstorms. We'll top out around 86, 7 o'clock. Notice some showers and thunderstorms arriving from the north. Those will push towards the south and east. And what you want to look for, you see Future Track trying to show these little areas of bowing segments. That is a key indicator of the damaging wind potential that'll continue to push towards the south and east. By midnight, we start to get a lot of this out of here, but not before these storms put down a lot of water, perhaps 1 to 2 inches of rain. Notice the higher totals on the western side of the viewing area. That's what we are going to be watching for. Of course, we'll keep you up to date going throughout the afternoon and evening, but it does remain an alert day. We'll have another chance for some showers on Wednesday. But then by the time we get you towards Thursday and through the weekend, we'll see more sunshine, low humidity, and temperatures that'll mainly be in the 70s before another storm chance early next week.
All right, keep an eye on things tonight.
Yep.
All right, Chris, thank you. Next to new, get your plant and garden questions ready. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here taking your calls at 270-9933. We'll get to your questions right after this. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here taking your calls at 270-9933. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Got some nice butterfly flowers.
Yes, this is the time of year that's perfect for cone flowers. This one is from the Sombrero series, and there's a bunch of different colors, and I like them because they're super compact, and they bloom like nobody's business. And the butterflies will like the ones that have cones like this, as opposed to the doubles, because it's easier to get at the nectar.
And these are perennials.
And these are all perennials, yes.
All right, let's get to the calls. We will start with Lisa from DeForest. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. I have a question about bee balm. If you should just deadhead that at all, if that comes back, or just leave it?
Bee balm is a perennial, and it will flower for a longer period of time if you do deadhead it. So deadheading is just removing the spent flowers, and that's a really easy thing to do, and is good for most perennials.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ray in Cambridge. Hi, Ray. What's your question?
I've got a lot of flowers in my garden and around the house, and my wife says it's overgrown and way too thick. I was wondering when the best time of year is to thin those plants out.
So for most perennials, most flowering plants, the best time to divide them is early in the spring or in the fall. There are a couple exceptions. Iris you want to do about now, so end of July into August, and you want to wait till September for peonies. But other things, you just don't want to divide them when they're actually flowering. Puts a lot of stress on them.
Okay, let's go to Karen in Milton. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Hi, which question?
Well, I have chlorobells and I have hostas. I have a question on, are you supposed to cut off that stalk that comes out, the flower type thing? Are you supposed to cut that off after it's done? And then for the winter time, are you supposed to trim back all those and cut them down?
So as far as the flowers are concerned, cutting back the flower stalks on most perennials is a good idea because you don't want them to use a lot of energy going to seed. So yeah, on the coral bells and hostas, a lot of people cut the hosta stems back before they even flower because they don't like them. And then oh gosh, I forgot what the other question was. Coral bells. Yeah, but there was a secondary question and I completely went out of my head. And as far as cutting back. So as far as cutting back is concerned, you can do that in the fall when the weather starts to get cold and it starts to get dormant. You want to leave them growing as long as possible.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right.
The brain freeze.
Let's go to Shirley in Madison. Hi, Shirley.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Regarding my orchid, all the petals fell off. Now what do I do?
Okay, so you're going to have a flowering stem that had the flowers on it, and along the stem there are like some little swollen bits. So go back from the flowering stem to the first little swollen part and cut back just above that. And a lot of times what will happen is a new little stem will come out from there and give you another set of flowers. They won't be as big as the original ones, but it'll give you some flowering for a little bit longer. When that's done, then just cut it back all the way to the bottom.
All right, Nancy in DeForest. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. I was calling in regards to tomatoes.
Okay.
They're always very, very hard and yellow. And when I get a tomato, I have to cut almost half of it away to get that real hard stuff.
So you're talking about the core and like the shoulders?
Yes, yes.
They're probably just not ripe enough. So a lot of times they say that those sort of discolored shoulders, so that top part of the tomato, is a sign of a better flavored tomato. So you don't necessarily want to stay away from those. But if they're still yellow and that core is really kind of not ripe yet, you just need to let them sit on your counter for a little bit longer.
Okay, we are out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Lisa, we'll talk to you off the air. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris has one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, good afternoon, folks. We're still watching that threat for some strong to severe storms to arrive later on this afternoon and evening. I think 7 o'clock is the time that a lot of the showers and storms get rocking and rolling north of us, and then they push south of us as we get towards midnight. Today is an alert day for that reason. More sunshine is expected by the weekend.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.